I remember my first day of class, I literally turned to my friend and said, "Oh my God, I have never been in any lecture they have used so much words." I was so surprised. Coming from an engineering background where you develop and design chemical processes, formulate chemical equation, and also do a lot of calculation, process design, calculating tensions and stress and things like that, and going to where they are talking about business processes and business function was very, very new, exciting, but also terrifying. So hi guys, welcome to the Smiling Professor. So today we're going to be discussing the challenges I faced moving from engineering into business and management. So those of you who don't know, my first degree is actually in chemical engineering, and I moved from the engineering field into the management field, and for my PhD I found a way to combine the both fields. But let's talk about what happened. So what are the challenges I faced in this process? So in this video, I'm going to be focusing on how I moved from the engineering field into the management field and some of the challenges I experienced. So after I finished my undergraduate degree in chemical engineering, I worked for a while. So I worked in a company and I worked in quality control. During my period in the lab, I discovered that those engineers who actually got promoted had an MBA, and I had a discussion with my dad, who is also an engineer, and I wanted to do my master's degree. He said the best thing to do so that I'll be able to put myself in a good position to be promoted in the future was to go do an MBA program, as this would give me the necessary skills and qualification to be in a more leadership position. So putting myself in a situation whereby I'll be able to be promoted to a more managerial position. So that's exactly what I did. So I came to the UK to do an MBA program. But while I was doing the MBA program, there are some surprises that happened. So the first one was I discovered that engineering and management are totally two different fields. I know this is obvious, but it was so surprising, even in the manner in which the individual courses within the subjects are taught. So what do I mean? With engineering, the focus is more on mathematics, science, calculation, problem solving, design, equation, processes. When I got into my management class, I can remember the first class, I sat down for 3 hours and I had so much information. I had never been in a class where the lecturer was just teaching concepts and theories only using words. No calculation, no equations, and I literally turned to my friend and said, "Oh my God, I have never been in a lecture where they use so much words." I was really, really surprised. I'm not saying within an MBA program you don't do calculation. What I'm saying is that particular class had no calculation aspects to it. So I was really, really surprised, and I was just there listening to the concept and theories being taught and just asking myself, so where is the formula? Where is the calculation? Because I'm a trained engineer, that's what I was looking for. So where is the problem to solve? It was really, really surprising. And because it was an MBA program, the lecturers just assumed that all of us coming in there, or all of us in the class at the time, would understand the basics. As I was in the class, I told myself, okay, this is the time to go back and study. And that's exactly what I did. So I spoke to people who had a BSc in business or management courses, and they told me what textbooks to buy. I also spoke to the lecturer so that I could get the foundational knowledge of the course. And that is one of the key difference. So within an MBA program, you do have some courses that have calculations, such as finance for managers, but some courses are just theory based without any calculation. And that was really surprising for someone like me who came from engineering. Another thing that I found really challenging was talking about myself in the first person. If you did engineering or you are an engineer, you know you never use I or me or refer to yourself in any of your assignments or in any dissertation you're doing, in any project you're doing. Because as engineers, the first thing you learn is to disassociate yourself from your project. So if you're meant to design an escalator, you just design the escalator. You don't talk about yourself in any way. And I really found that challenging. In management, depending on what field you are, or in business, most research you're doing, you have to talk about yourself, especially when it's qualitative. So if it's a qualitative research, you need to refer to yourself. So I did this, I went there, I did this. I found that really challenging. I can remember my supervisor, we always had that conversation during my master's. You are the one doing the research, he said to me, because I chose to do a qualitative research. I've always done quantitative research as an engineer. I wanted to do something different, just so I could see what the other perspective of doing the research as a qualitative researcher would be. But I really found it very challenging talking about myself in the first person. So I used to write the researcher, and she's like, you are the researcher, so why don't you just write I? I really found that challenging, and she kept saying that to me. Obviously now, because I have been in management for so long, I'm really comfortable writing in the first person, but that was something I really found challenging. So if you are an engineer and you found this also challenging, please let me know down in the comment section below. Or is it just me? As engineers, you don't write in first person, you always write in third person. That is one challenge I really faced. And the way I overcame the challenge was just to keep reminding myself that I am now a qualitative researcher because I chose qualitative method, and this is what is expected of me. But as I said, in business and management, you could choose to either be a qualitative or a quantitative researcher. So as a quantitative researcher, you don't have to write in the first person. It's perfectly fine to write in the third person, depending on your area of research. If you're liking this video so far, please click the like button and leave a comment down in the comment section below, because it helps boost the video. And don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Now let's go back to our topic of discussion. The last challenge that I faced moving from engineering to management was something called critical writing. So critical writing was really challenging for me. To start writing in a more critical manner and not just a descriptive manner was really challenging for me, because as I said, as engineers, you develop and design processes. Or in my case, I'm a chemical engineer, you develop and design chemical manufacturing processes. So you don't necessarily have to produce a critical perspective, except something goes wrong or you're problem solving, then you have to present the critical aspect of it. But critical writing was something totally different. So it was presenting your idea or your opinion on a particular problem or topic from different perspectives, having logical connection, presenting the idea using available and valid data. I really struggled with this, because I present my idea. I can remember in my master's, and when I go to my lecturers to give me feedback, they are like, okay, so can you include another perspective to this? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean another perspective? This is what happened. They're like, no, you have only presented one perspective. It is okay for you to criticize the researcher. So find out what the researcher did wrong, find out if there's something wrong with their methods or their data, and criticize it. I found this really challenging. I'm like, I criticizing a researcher, a well-known academic scholar? Yeah, but that's what they expect of you, especially in the UK. They want you to criticize it. They want you to bring another perspective, so present the limitations. And I had to learn to write like this. So write more critically, present more than one perspective to a particular topic or subject. And this was really different from what I was used to. This is where we're going to end this video today. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watched up to this point. If you're someone who's moved from sciences to social science, please let me know down in the comment section below. Are you also an engineer and you moved into management? Let me know your own experience. Or did you do the reverse? Did you move from social sciences into science? Please let me know your own experience. I was able to overcome these challenges by learning, and I finished my master's successfully and moved on to do my PhD. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the red button below. If you want to add to this conversation, please feel free. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you always know when I upload. Thanks guys. See you next week. Bye guys.